Very good morning to you all, and thank you for joining us today as we are going to be exploring Elite Apps, looking at how we can mobilize your maintenance and housekeeping teams, or as I'm sure it's better known to you guys as how do we get this lot out of the office and actually out on site doing the work, which is what we're going to take a look at today. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Andrew Blackie, who is our subject matter expert on Elite Apps. How are you doing, Andrew? Nice to have you here today with us.
I'm very good, thank you, Callum. Very good indeed.
Good.
Glad the
Glad to have you
snow's
back.
cleared now.
Oh, yeah, the snow now.
Yes, yes,
I haven't
yes.
had none in Scotland.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Also, in the background today, we are always joined back again for 2025 with Edwin Wild-Burrow, who is our creative marketing exec, fresh back from paternity leave. Congratulations, Edwin, and welcome back. We are thrilled to
Congratulations,
have you
Edwin.
with us. Before we get into the nitty gritty of the webcast, we do have the Q&A functionality available at the top of your Teams call. As always, if you want to drop in some questions, we will be looking at answering them with Andrew at the end of the call. If you do want to join us on the webcast, that is available to you. You just need to raise your hand when we get to the end of the webcast, but please be reminded the webcast is being recorded, and you are consenting to us using your mic and camera. Might make you LinkedIn famous, clip you out if you ask us something really interesting. So just be aware of that. No swearing when that time comes along there as well. So just to give you a little bit of a background on what you need to expect from myself and Andrew today, we're going to start off by just discussing Elite Apps, how it can help you and actually get that mobility that we're looking for out of our maintenance and housekeeping teams. Andrew is going to demonstrate the capabilities of Elite Apps, just a very high level overview, and then we're going to have the Q&A to close us off. So Andrew, for anyone that's not familiar with Elite Apps, can you give us a quick intro into what it is, who it's for, just to give us a bit of a context really, to those that might have never came across it before?
Yeah, of course, can. So Elite Apps it's a mobile app that partners with our two core solutions, Elite Parks and Elite Marinas, and it's built specifically for use by the end user, for housekeepers, for maintenance team, for sitenance team, essentially everybody that is a remote out and about on site, on park, on marina. It's for that worker who doesn't need to be sat behind a desk. And in short, they can use it on their mobile phone, their tablet, get notified of new tasks, and allows them to complete their task list and send that back into Elite Parks or Elite Marinas.
Perfect. So straight off the bat, we have found a way to get them out of the office. So we've mobilized them
Exactly.
straight away.
Absolutely. That's what
There's
it's all
nothing
about.
worse. There's nothing
Yeah,
worse. You go into your reception, you've got all your housekeepers and your maintenance all trying to find out what's going on. They don't need to be in there anymore. You can just get them out.
absolutely. Yeah.
So what was the inspiration around the creation then of Elite Apps?
So effectively operational teams, a lot of us who the sort of task force behind the building of Elite Apps have all worked on various marinas, holiday parks, so have experienced working with maintenance teams in particular. And we know that when you're out in the field, you need to get the job done. And communication between departments is absolutely crucial. And sitting behind a desk to manage that communication, you're not then out and about trying to get the job done, which in turn creates bottlenecks. So Elite Apps ultimately takes that need away, and their teams can work out on the park or on the arena, get the job done, and it's being communicated back to the people that need to know without passing them of paper and text messages and radio messages. It's really about helping the teams work more effectively and just mobilizing the team so they can just do that effectively.
And I think that passing the messages is really quite important. I worked on a park where that we were part of maybe 4 or 5 WhatsApp groups. So there's one for reception, housekeeping,
Absolutely.
and they just ping, 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 ping all day long. And with this, we're not going to need that anymore.
Yeah,
People can actually
absolutely.
switch off when they finish their work as well, because they can just stop, which is the
Yeah.
way we want it to go. So how would Elite Apps help adapt quickly to on-the-ground situations or customer needs? So with last-minute things that are coming up or high priority items.
Yeah, absolutely. So the key is real-time updates and mobile access. The big thing with Elite Apps is we can send live push notifications directly to the app. And it also means that teams can respond to guests immediately and their guest requests immediately because everything becomes digital. So whether it's a maintenance issue or a last minute booking issue, Elite Apps ensures the right information reaches the right person at the right time, which is what it's ultimately all about.
Cool. And we spoke briefly at the beginning there. We mentioned that this relationship between housekeeping and maintenance teams sometimes a little fraught. How can, to say the least, how can the app help better align them, get them working together?
Yeah, absolutely. So the apps allow, let's say for example, a housekeeping team, they're out cleaning, notices the shower tray's cracked. You know, what that allows them to do in the app directly is create a maintenance job from their housekeeping task, upload a picture, put all the comments in, and then that means it can be sent through to the maintenance team and they can manage the job. It allows the housekeeper then to continue with their day-to-day work and let the maintenance team go ahead and fix the issue. It also allows the part reception team can also see the job's been raised straight away, and will also, within the unit itself isn't going to be ready for the customer on check-in in that booking example. So if the unit's not going to be ready for check-in, it means that you're not waiting on text messages. You're not phoning people to say, "Is that unit ready?" Which I remember vividly, back in the day. Everyone knows what's required, where everything is up to, without anyone having to call anyone. Ultimately, everyone is working in sync, which is what it's all about.
And I guess that leads me on to my next question. We're talking about that being able to manage that guest experience. How do you think Elite Apps can actually enhance that guest experience, make it better? Can it?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And just to pick up on the point about check-in again, is that if the check-in is delayed because there's a job being done or something needs to be taken care of, the reception team know about it and they can manage the expectation back to the guest. So ultimately, we can automate information straight away. So utilizing the automation behind Elite Apps, you can notify the guest to say there's been a delay or there's something's not quite right. But it allows everybody to take control. Everybody's singing off the same hymn sheet, if you like, but it allows them to crack on, complete the tasks that need doing. But because they're uploading supporting pictures, and it allows the collaboration between the customer and the user. Because if a customer comes in and says, "Oh, this has happened" or "this has gone wrong," well, you've got the evidence then and say, well, our cleaner went in at such and such a time. They've taken pictures of what had happened. Maintenance job went in at this time and they've rectified it. So it actually works for both the customer and the business experience.
Yeah, and I think just from my own experience, and actually Elite Apps saved our backsides in several things where
Yes.
customers come in, "I'm fuming, this is filthy, this is broken," and we'd be like, "What? Let me just
Yeah,
pull up the pictures. I've got them all in front of me." I'm like,
absolutely.
"So between you check the cleaner left 5 minutes before you check, all of that happened? Are you
Yeah.
sure?" So
Yeah.
it does give that layer of protection to the business to be able to push back, I think, in a time where the customer expectation is so high,
Yes.
and everybody wants something for nothing. We all do.
Well,
So
yeah, and it's that thing that we said on the outset, Callum, is that it's all about collaboration and
yeah,
communication. That is what we are trying to build when it comes to Elite Apps, Elite Marinas, Elite Parks, Elite CRM. All of our solutions talk to each other and allow the reduction in paper, the reduction in text messaging and radio messages and just writing on post-it notes. Everything can go straight into the phone. One of the big things with Elite Apps is you could be in the comments box, hit the microphone, speak into it, speech to text, it writes it all out for you, save, done. Don't even have to type anything. So
I
you
didn't know
can,
that.
yeah, that's a good one. And that's just a standard feature of a mobile phone, effectively.
Okay, now you're calling
But
me a
it,
boomer. Thanks for that.
but it allows you, you don't even have to type. I get it.
Yeah,
Those dark and cold nights, you've got gloves on, it's snowing, just press the microphone button, speak straight into the comments box, relay all the text, save it, and away you go. So We've designed this for the ease of use of people, of the remote workers.
For people stuck under a caravan that can't do it.
Absolutely, yes.
Magic. I tell you what, we'll take a little look at what we're actually going to look through on your demo. So we're going to be walking through job and activity management from creation to completion. We're going to look at a couple of extra little bits as well. So we'll talk about housekeeping and maintenance, but we can actually also submit meter reads and use EliteApp to record our safety test results in there as well. So we're going to get I think it's about 15 minutes of a demonstration of EliteApps, and then we're going to come back out at the end for that Q&A. So don't forget, Q&A buttons at the top of your chat. But for just now, Andrew, if you'd like to take it away and take us through EliteApps, that'd be great.
Thank you very much. Welcome to this EliteApps demonstration. The key to your efficient site operations. In this demonstration, we're going to specifically look at job activity management from creation to completion using your EliteApp, and how to submit meter readings from EliteApps, and also how to submit those crucial safety test results directly on your mobile or tablet device. EliteApps has the ability to work online and offline in those difficult places, specifically at the far end of your marina or the back end of your holiday park. Let's take a deep dive into maintenance jobs. We are directly within the EliteApp on a mobile device. If we drill through onto maintenance, we are then greeted with 4 options, where we will be directly able to look into My Jobs, specifically assigned to you, to look at the group jobs if we're within a team, any high priority jobs or unallocated jobs. Clicking on My Jobs allows you to see all of the jobs in priority and due date order, and you'll be able to simply click through and see all of the information required. Let's take a look at creating a new job. If I navigate back and select My Jobs, I can then click on the New button. The first thing I can do is enter the job information, remembering this is whilst out on site. In this example, we have a broken boiler. We can set the priority and then directly select your park or marina, and within the app it will only show me plots and units available based on my previous selection. So once I get down to unit, it will only show me the unit available for that particular plot. I can set my maintenance job stage. It will automatically bring through the unit details, and then of course I can set my due date, my delivery date and time, and the start and end time of the job. Once I've done this, I can simply select Save. What will happen now is that will sync through to Elite Parks or Elite Marinas and return a job number and a job status. Utilizing workflows, this will also give you the ability to send either internally or externally a notification that the job has now been created. In this example, we're going to add a quick comment and we can also upload a picture directly from the device. Whilst uploading a picture on a mobile device, you will also get all of the features that come natively with your mobile phone. Things like speech to text, where you can talk directly into your device and the comments will be loaded, where you can take a picture directly or select one from your library. Once I've uploaded my picture, I can then select Save, and this will be sent directly to Elite Parks or Elite Marinas. My job is now loaded directly on the system, I can already see that it's synchronized because I've now got a maintenance job returned and a status of awaiting parts. I can continue adding comments as required and also have the ability to add in any job lines. So if I am aware of resources or costs that will be required, I can add them directly within the job itself. All I need to do is simply select lines, then new maintenance job line. This now gives me the ability to add in any items, anything directly related to a GL account, or my resource and labour. All of this is pre-configured directly within Elite Parks or Elite Marinas. Once I've added one line, I've then got the ability to add another one. And I would simply be able to go to New Maintenance Job Line, add in my required date, and this time I'm going to add in my boiler. Quantity of 1, and I also have the ability to add in the cost and the price, or I could leave this blank and allow an administrator to fill in later. I've now got my lines added with my labour and the boiler. And the benefit here is where I'm out remotely, I'm able to add in my time spent on a job, or whether this to be quoted, the time spent for materials and what materials are required, and can add that directly onto my mobile device, eliminating the need for any paper or text or WhatsApp communication between colleagues. And within that 60-second window, synchronizing back to your main platform, allowing the administrators to action, invoice, and allocate to the correct resource. Let's take a look in Elite Parks and see this maintenance job with the comments we've added and the new lines that have also been added to the maintenance job. We can navigate to maintenance jobs, and we should now be able to see maintenance job 598, where we can also see that it's been allocated to a customer automatically based on the unit selected within EliteApps. I can see the comment that I added, and by selecting the line, I will also be able to see the picture that I've uploaded directly within my mobile device. And then going on to invoice lines, I can see my 1 hour labour and my new boiler. With a configuration directly within the Elite Parks or Elite Marinas platform, I'm able to add the mapping directly to the correct GL account. And this allows the ease of use for the team out remotely, where they're not having to think about where or how to allocate. They just select the item that is required within their mobile or tablet device. This maintenance job can now be managed back with the administrators, where they will be able to, once completed, invoice the customer directly. Back within my mobile device on EliteApps, I can then add in any further information required, and then I simply go to my navigation at the top, select complete job, confirm, and then press OK. That job will now be completed, and if chargeable, will remain in a waiting invoice state, allowing the administrator to make any changes required and then invoice the customer. Remembering with the power of automation, you've also got the ability to send any internal or external emails based on any movement of data within EliteApps. Let's navigate back and take a look at meter readings. With meter readings, these are one of the time-consuming aspects to any park or marina. We're often done on pieces of paper, relying on the user themselves to interpret that number and send back to the office teams to then input into your computer. Within EliteApps, we've changed the way that this can be managed, allowing for a three-step process to ensure no further mistakes are made when reading meters, where it's all fully digital and allowing you to walk the site and take the readings when required. Just like maintenance jobs, you will have the ability to see readings that have been assigned to you directly or assigned to your team. Let's go into my meter readings as an example. In this example, I've got 4 readings within my meter reading that have been assigned directly to me. This process is designed for you to quickly navigate between the readings, and the first line is designed to show you the park, the plot number, whether it's an opening, final, or closing reading, and then the reading number itself. Below that, you'll be able to see the plot number and then the unit number. And all I would simply need to do is click through. I get all of the detail required, and we've designed it in a way where the reading will be displayed at the top, but you can scroll down for further information if required to ensure that you are at the correct location. You simply add in the meter reading value. You can see the previous reading, and this for me is the first checkpoint to ensure the reading is correct. And this is where you'll be able to visually see that. You will also be able to see if the meter is holding an MPRN number, and that will be displayed here also, once again to ensure you're at the correct meter and location. If I scroll down, I've also got the ability to load in a picture, where I can take a picture directly on my mobile or tablet device, and this will always be stored against this meter reading with my user ID, time and date. So once invoiced, if ever there was a problem, we always have the reading attached with visual evidence. All I would then simply need to do is navigate to Submit Reading. The system will automatically calculate the meter movement, ensuring, again at that second checkpoint before invoicing, that there is any issues that need to be raised before I submit. I select OK, and I can simply go Save and Close. That reading has now gone off my list, and I'm just working through the list one by one. And I can add in my new reading number, see my previous one, add any pictures that are required, submit, check meter movement, and then go on to my next reading. We can see here how simple it can be to enter the readings, pictures if required, and navigate through, whether I have 10, 50, 100, or hundreds to navigate through. There is simply no pen and paper required. Let's navigate to Elite Parks, see the journal and see the readings come back into Elite Parks. If I refresh my journal, I can now see the 2 that we've taken. I can see the current meter reading value. If I select the line, I will also be able to see the image that I'd taken within my EliteApp platform also. All of this saved directly against that plot and against that meter. And as that third checkpoint, I now have the ability, as the administrator, back at base, to check the readings have been entered, check the meter movement, check any pictures that have been loaded up by the team within EliteApps. And then once happy, I will then be able to post the meter reading journal and invoice my customers. That's where we have that 3-step process. The first one on that visual check within EliteApps, checking that against the previous and the current reading. Once submitting, checking the meter movement, and then once posting down within to Elite Parks or Elite Marinas, checking the meter movement and the pictures that have been downloaded onto the journal. And that is how we can streamline your meter reading process between Elite Parks, Elite Marinas, and EliteApps. Finally, let's move on to safety tests. And safety test works in a similar way to meter readings and allows you to save your safety test areas against the unit, whether that be an annual gas safety test, a hot tub check test. All of these can be done periodically, and when allocated to a resource, you are able to see that directly within EliteApps. Let's navigate back to the home screen. By selecting Safety Tests at the bottom, I get my same menu, whether I've got ones allocated to me directly as in My Safety Tests, or within Group Safety Tests. If we click into My Safety Tests, I will see a list of all the safety tests that have been allocated to me directly. And all I would simply need to do is select the safety test, check the details where I can see the park, plot and unit, and what test details are required. In this example, we have a gas service, and I would be able to then undertake the test date, who issued it, the certificate number directly within the Elite app, and any comments that are required. Once this is done, again, I will be able to select the Submit button, select OK, save and close, and that will be removed from my list and I can continue checking. Depending on my skill set, I could have a number of different safety tests within my list, whether it be a gas test, checking a manhole cover, checking a mooring. Anything like that can be displayed within my list. Within EliteApps, it gives you the power to be online or offline, wherever your location, and manage your full maintenance teams. Within housekeeping, as an example, manage those housekeeping checks, upload photographs and comments, or even your PDI checks. Walk through your meter readings, add any site tasks for any movements that happen around site, and then finally your safety checks. EliteApps really does give you the power to mobilize the team and have full remote working. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Andrew. It was very,
No
very
problem at
thorough. I
all.
think we've got all the areas of EliteApps in there, which is great. Don't forget, if you do have any questions that you want to ask Andrew, pop them in that Q&A while we're waiting for any to filter through. I do have a couple of questions to ask you. I'm just thinking, our housekeeping and maintenance team. So if someone's on this call today and they're thinking, this looks great, fantastic, does everything we needed to do, but the team are going to be the problem. The team are a little bit tech phobic. I know when I implemented Elite as a whole, I think housekeeping more than maintenance, housekeeping were very resistant.
Yeah.
What would you say to them to get them on board?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest things with the app is, the integration to Elite Parks and Elite Marinas was, in our eyes, the easy bit. The hardest bit was actually making sure that the app is user friendly. So the user interface was the most important aspect to this, and why we used Power Apps as the tool to achieve that. So there's a number of things that you can do on your device. You can have quick links. So, just for the maintenance section, for example, you could store that on your mobile phone or your tablet, click on it, and it opens the device straight away. Same with push notifications. And when you're in the app, it is very much maintenance job, my job, click on job, do job. So that was the heart of what the way we built the app was for the users itself. So the whole design is to make their lives as easy as possible, and then the usage would come very naturally.
And we might be slightly biased over here, but back in my day, when I implemented Elite on the park I was working on, Elite Apps wasn't actually a thing at the time. So we were using the Business Central app. And please feel free to download it and have it, because it is complicated to actually to do what these guys need to do. It's not fit for purpose. So when we got Elite Apps, it totally changed their perspective, and it made their lives a whole lot easier in that aspect as well. And just while we're talking about trying to get staff to get on with what we want them to do, Becky does have a blog available on our website if you want to give that a read about engaging with those teams specifically. She did 30 years on parks working with those teams. If you want a little read on that, so I know you mentioned very briefly at the end of that demo there about the online offline situation, because I think we both know from experience that phone signal on these sites is at best temperamental,
Yeah.
especially in even busy times. I've seen it where the park's full or the site's full, and all of a sudden nobody's got a phone signal.
Yeah.
How does Elite Apps overcome that issue that I think we've all faced?
Yeah, absolutely. And so again, another important aspect was to make sure we could design an app that would work both online and offline. And with the technology that Microsoft supply with the app is, they have a technology called offline first, which means that when you are connected to Wi-Fi or mobile signal, it will effectively just be downloaded in the background. And the first thing I would say is, oh, downloads, data, consumption, all that sort of thing. But you can control what is to be downloaded. So, it doesn't have to be the entire database that is with Elite Apps. It could just be the crucial element. So just the maintenance jobs or information doesn't have to be the related tables. So it's constantly downloaded in the background. So if you had a power cut, if you were in an area that suddenly cut off, that wouldn't stop the operation of the app. And I think that's the bit that I really liked, and the exciting part is that for the user, there is no difference. They carry on as normal, they continue using the app, and as soon as they regain signal, it pushes it back up. So if they are going into a black spot without losing functionality, they can complete the task as they would need to. And they just need to make sure they reconnect once they can, and once they're in
Yes.
an area that's possible to do. But yeah, and it works really well. To the user, you wouldn't know you've gone offline.
Perfect. We have got some questions in
No
our
problem.
Q&A. Right. So notifications within Elite Parks. So, and you made a comment about the reception team knowing instantly the jobs being created. I believe that would only be if they were tracking jobs with a date added filter, frequent, with all the filters in place. Is there some sort of notification or filter in the pipeline on that side?
Great question. And yes, there is. For Elite Parks, we are working on some notifications that is possible. But what I would also like to say is with Elite Apps, you also have the power of automation.
Yeah.
So that goes hand in hand with Elite CRM. So, for example, if a maintenance job is raised, it
Mhm.
could trigger an email immediately to a maintenance at your park name or your marinaname.com, and send an email instantly. You've
Yeah.
also got the power to send a text message instantly or even a push notification instantly.
Yeah.
So there's something coming within Elite Parks, but if you do have Elite Apps or Elite CRM, both of those would allow you to send instant communication out as well.
Yeah. And I think I remember we're going to explore this in our webcast in a couple of weeks' time, but I just, from a reception point of view, we're saying they're going to see it instantly. So they go to check someone independent on your setup. You
Yep,
can set up that they won't be able to check in. So they'll be able to go, oh, we're waiting on housekeeping. They'll drill into that
absolutely.
task and then go, oh, there's a maintenance job. It's all about that connection, really, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Just to add to that. You are so we've got obviously got high turnover of staff,
Yep.
large teams. You've got different specialities, I think, across everywhere. Rather than assigning it to a specific person at the time that it's raised, can it be raised to a maintenance group or a housekeeping team?
Okay. So this is something we get asked quite a lot.
Mhm.
And Elite Apps is no different from any other solutions. It's a Microsoft product, so it still has to be in line with their what they call multiplexing. You cannot have multiple users logging into the same device. It's got to be a named user. One of the ways that we've looked at this and discussed with our licensing partner is what you can have is exactly what you're saying is maintenance one, maintenance two, maintenance three, because we do recognize there is a high turnover.
Yes.
All you've got to ensure is that maintenance one is only ever used by that one person, and it's
Yeah.
not multiple people logging into that same user. So yeah, we recognize on a Monday, maintenance one could be assigned to Phil or Sophie,
Mhm.
but on Tuesday it could be assigned to someone else. So you do need to keep a a sort of a record, but just ensure only one user ever can log into that account at any one time. A great way is almost like a device license, but it's not. Whereas if you did have devices, that device uses housekeeping number one user, that would work quite nicely. And I think that's also not in breach of Microsoft's licensing rules. So I would say on that one, if it's something you're wanting to do, we've done it before with other with our other customers, just come and talk to us about it first. We'll talk you through it. But yes, it's possible. We just need to ensure it's done in the right way.
And could we, I'm just thinking in practical terms, and you can tell me to shut up, but it can be an offline conversation. It has to be. So we're just talking about the team, for instance, so we can allocate to a resource team in the first instance, for example. So reception don't know who's specialised and whatnot. They don't really understand the problem. They just need to raise it. So they've raised the job before it gets pushed out. So they raise it to the resource group, the resource team, and then the maintenance manager, who obviously understands a lot more about his team, could go, that is for this person, and then they'll allocate that out to the individual from the group.
Absolutely, yeah. So one of the big things we have within the app is my jobs and my group jobs. So with permissions, you could have users that aren't allowed access to the group jobs, and they can only see the jobs that are allocated to them. And then the maintenance manager could be then assigning the task. So you can put a job on in Elite Parks or Elite Marinas. You could say this is for the maintenance team, the housekeeping team, the site team, whatever it needs to be as a team. It goes into EliteApps as a team, and then ultimately a manager could then go in and go, right, I'm going to assign that to that person. The minute it's assigned, it comes off the team and goes into their user list. So they can either be a part of a team and see team jobs, so they can physically go into that job, reassign it to them, comes off the team, and they've got the job. It could be almost like a pool of jobs like that, or it could be down to a manager to assign.
Perfect. I think that works both ways then, I think, from what the original question was there. So is there a way, so obviously we can, when we're raising a maintenance job and it's coming through, we can bill to an owner, we can charge to manufacturer. What happens when a customer goes in and breaks something? Can we do that from the maintenance job to charge them out?
In short, no. You can only, within Elite Parks itself, you can bill a manufacturer or you can bill a customer. And of course, a holiday maker is not a customer record. So you can't physically bill that booker. You could add an extra onto the booking. You could do it that way. You could have, certain customer types and things like that. So want to investigate a little bit more, but you couldn't bill directly from the maintenance job to that holiday maker because they aren't a customer.
And final question we have for the moment. So can we upload multiple pictures to a maintenance job? Is it just a one-to-one relationship? One picture, one job?
No, yeah, you can upload multiple pictures. What we've done though is a one-to-one relationship with the comment. So if you, within the video I shown when we went into Elite Parks, and on the comment line you could see the picture attached to it. So you can upload as many as you want, but it would be a comment and a picture, a one by one, but you can do as many as you want within that maintenance task.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. We've got through all of our questions today. There was a lot of questions in there relating to, I think, the Elite Parks and Elite Marinas side of things. On the 29th, we are actually going to be hosting our next webcast where we're going to be looking at actually unifying those departments, and we'll be taking a much more in-depth look to that side of things in Elite Parks and Elite Marinas. We're looking at things like reporting that's available, how we do the actual invoicing, so you can actually create an invoice from a maintenance job, send it where it needs to go. We'll be looking into that in a couple of weeks, so look out for those emails coming your way. Thank you very much for joining us today. If you did enjoy what you've seen, you want to start beginning to implement EliteApps, or you would like a more personalized demonstration for your business, you can of course reach out to your account manager. Please join us again in a couple of weeks for that secondary webcast to this and seeing how we can get all your teams together. We will also have a very, very brief, and I will say very brief, look at the new what do you call them, the new dashboards that are available in Elite Analytics as well, referring to Elite Apps into housekeeping and maintenance, so you can see what that reporting looks like. So if you've got general managers or senior leaders that don't want to be getting into they don't log in to Elite Parks or Elite Marinas, they just want the dashboard views, they just want quick information. We'll show you how that can be done through Elite Analytics at the same time, just so you've got a full picture there. But thank you for everyone taking the time to join us today. We are going to finish up there, and thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you again in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.